Salute.
But allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sunshine notice, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. Board of Commissioners Public Meeting Agenda for Tuesday, May 5th, 2026. The time is now 7:05. Pursuant to the requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, notice of this meeting was published in the November 20th, 2025 issues of the Nutley Sun, the Herald News, and the Star Ledger. A copy of this notice has been posted on the Nutley Town Hall Bulletin Board, and a copy is on file in the Municipal Clerk's office. Commissioner Evans.
Here.
Commissioner Tucci.
Here.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Here.
Commissioner Petracco.
Here.
Mayor Kelly.
Present. We're going to be doing some of this agenda out of order, so please bear with me as we go through the agenda tonight. We have no minutes, no executive minutes, no proclamations, but we do have communications, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. We have three this evening. We have an event application from the Department of Public Works for Big Truck Day on Franklin Avenue between Chestnut and Church Street on Saturday, May 9th, 2026 from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. We have the limited brewery off-premise permit application for Terra Costa LLC Festival of Hope event by Greater Nutley Cancer Foundation at Father Glatzbach Park, 44 Park Avenue on Thursday, May 14, 2026 from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And we have an event application from the Mayor's Office for the annual 4th of July fireworks and festivities on Franklin Avenue between Church Street and Chestnut Street from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Move it. Second.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco.
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
Aye. And we have no reports this evening. Moving to bills, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Bill list for May 5th, 2026. Public Affairs, $120,173.09. Revenue and Finance, $7,955,788.22. Public Safety, $97,743.51. Public Works, $169,922.80. Parks and Public Property, $1,965,386.01. Water and Sewer Utility, $130,893.81. Payroll as of Friday, April 24th, 2026. Regular payroll total, $985,508.14. Overtime payroll total, $46,069.89. Total payroll, $1,031,578.03 for a grand total of $11,471,485.47.
Move the bills.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco. Mayor Kelly.
Aye.
What are you doing?
And that's it for bills, Mayor.
Thank you, Joe.
At this time, we'll entertain comment on agenda items only. This is for a commentary on agenda items only. If you wish to be heard on agenda items only, please approach the microphone and state your name for the record. Seeing none, Board of Commissioner announcements. Commissioner Evans.
Nothing for me this evening, Mayor.
Commissioner Tucci.
Yes, Mayor, I have one on Thursday, May 14th. I know the clerk just mentioned this in some of the approvals that we needed. From 6 to 10, the Greater Nutley Cancer Foundation will be holding its annual festival. So I encourage everyone to come out and to support this great effort. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Commissioner Scarpelli.
Thank you, Mayor. One, will you be having Big Truck Day this Saturday on Franklin Avenue between Church Street and Chestnut Street? 2 hours only from 12 to 2. Like to wish everybody a happy Mother's Day that's out there. And 3, I know Commissioner Petracco will probably talk about his fire department and helping out Belleville, but I was watching the news on Sunday night and it said Belleville was out of water. Made a phone call to our guys. They contacted Belleville and we opened up some interconnects within an hour, got them pressure, helped them fight the fire because they were losing pressure down on their, and they had a lot of companies down there. I'm sure Commissioner Petracco can elaborate. But They didn't have any water pressure and we were able to help them out and we're still helping them out. Still, those interconnects are open. In addition, today we supplied them with a diesel tanker, more of a truck, but we'll call it a tanker, to fill up their engines so they don't have to leave the scene and go back and forth. So we've been helping them out. Thank God, no real tragedy down there, but certainly a fire like we haven't seen around here in a long time.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Petracca.
Thank you. Yes, my first message is the most important one. Like Dr. Joe said, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. If you're lucky enough to have your mother still, make sure you take care of them because there is nothing like a mom. So happy Mother's Day to everyone out there. As Joe said too, that the Belleville fire was something like we have never seen. But I have to tell you, I've never been prouder, to see not just Nutley partner up with Belleville, but all the outside agencies. Our hazmat was there. Actually, our Nutley Fire Department just left there this morning. They worked through the night along with Belleville and Belleville's guys, who I know many of them, did an excellent job. It was really, an effort on all sides, and it's good to see government and everybody come together when there's, a tragedy like that. And what they prevented, the team of all the fire departments that were there were, the surrounding houses. If you watch the news today, you could see across the street from those factories, those houses were pretty crisp. The aluminum siding was melted, all that stuff. They were even having problems with fire trucks getting melted. You don't realize when you're watching it on TV how hot those areas are and how, it's important to make sure that your fire department has the right equipment and all that stuff. And like I always say, when everybody sees something like that, along my career on this journey of politics, and sitting in these seats, do we need all these cops? Do we need all these firemen? No, you only need them when you need them, right? And obviously this weekend, it was a necessity. And, that's why, we have these guys around, when you need them, they respond and they really risk their lives, as you could tell. So, great job in Belleville. I salute all of the first responders. We had our ambulances there, Belleville. We did a lot of covering with our ambulance as well. We covered for Belleville. Belleville's 911 went down. They brought a Belleville police officer over to Nutley, and it's about working together, and protecting all the residents. And then, as many of us are sitting on this board, we all us Nutleyites, Bellevilleites, our families intertwined. So I know I have a lot of family in Belleville. I know a lot of the commissioners have family. I know it was about protecting everybody. So again, happy Mother's Day to all my friends in the crowd and everybody in TV land. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner, and thank you to our emergency responders for all their dedicated efforts day in and day out. Again, happy Mother's Day. Did we ever figure out how many alarms were triggered? 12 alarm fire. It's one of the highest I've ever heard. We do have a couple of events out of the Department of Public Affairs and Health on May 15th. We have our blood drive in honor of Ann Rotunda. It's going to be at the Department of Public Affairs and Health from 2:30 to 6 p.m. They'll have the mobile blood drive truck there. This month is Military Appreciation Month, and we have our annual Memorial Day parade celebration. And prior to that, we have our annual tradition of visiting the monuments to pay respects to all the Nutley residents who paid the ultimate sacrifice. And we also have after that, right before the parade at 11 p.m., we have the firefighters memorial as well for all those firefighters from Nutley who paid the ultimate sacrifice. Continuing with the theme of the 250th anniversary of our nation, on May 28th from 6 to 9 p.m. at Luna, we'll be doing the pub trivia again. The theme would be America 250 Trivia Night. So for all those who are interested, please sign up in advance. We're going to do something a little bit different with a buffet style. I believe it's $30 per person. So if you're interested, look out for more communications or go online and register for that event. Looking to see a big turnout for that night. From there, we're going to move on to ordinances on. We have no ordinance introductions, so we'll have ordinances on the second reading. We're going to do this a little out of order. We'll be dealing with ordinance number 3610 later in the evening tonight. So we'll start with ordinance number 3612, and that's an ordinance on behalf of the entire Board of Commissioners. And this is an ordinance regulating the sale of tobacco, hemp, and related products. This is, as I mentioned when we did this first reading, this is to bring our ordinance in line with new state law. I'm not going to read the entire ordinance. It's been published. It's been published on the town's website, nutleynj.org. When was it published? On April 8th, and we'll be having the hearing tonight. So without further ado, I'll open the hearing to anyone who wishes to be heard on ordinance number 3612, regulating the sale of tobacco, hemp, and related products. Seeing none, move to close the hearing.
Second.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca.
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
Aye. And I'll move the ordinance.
Second.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca.
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
Aye. And I'll turn it over to Commissioner Evans, who has an ordinance, resolution, and presentation for us.
A whole bunch, a whole bunch. Thank you, Mayor. Tonight we have a lot to do. We have to hold a public hearing and adoption on an ordinance that would authorize us to exceed the 2.5% cap on appropriations by 1%, going to 3.5%. We do this traditionally every year as to create a cap bank, which we have been very successful in maintaining. And then we will move, after that, we'll move into a budget presentation. Before that, we'll do a resolution related to the presentation tonight and the budget itself. I will also need a motion of the board after to only do a public hearing and table the vote on the adoption until the first meeting in June, pending amendments to the budget that are currently being evaluated. And after we do the presentation, Ray Serenelli is here, our outside auditor from the Savachian Company, to provide some comments. And I also want to welcome Dee Bartlett to the meeting, our CFO. So that's sort of what we have to do, and we'll get through it as quickly as possible. But I worked really hard on this presentation, and I'm going to cover every word of it. So be prepared.
Thanks for the warning.
So the first thing, so ordinance number 3611, as I said, this establishes a cap bank. We did not exceed the appropriation cap for the year, so we will have a little bit of carryover bank into 2027. So anyone, we can open the public hearing. Anybody wishing to comment?
We'll open the public hearing for ordinance number 3611. Anyone wishing to be heard on ordinance number 3611, please approach the microphone and say your name for the record. Seeing none, move to close.
Second.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca.
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
Aye.
Move the ordinance.
Second.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca. Mayor Kelly.
Aye.
The next step is a resolution that I need to read. Resolution of the Township of Nutley County of Essex State of New Jersey authorizing the budget to be read by title only. Whereas NJSA 48:4-8 as amended by L 2015 C 95-14/2015 provided that the budget be read by title only at the time of the public hearing if a resolution is passed by no less than a majority of the full governing body, providing that at least 1 week before the date of the public hearing, a complete copy of the budget has been made available for public inspection and has been made available to each person upon request. The budget has been available since it was introduced on April 7th. It was posted on the website on the morning of April 8th. So it's more than a week. Whereas these two conditions have been met, now therefore be it resolved that after closing of the public hearing, the governing body may adopt the budget by title without amendments or may approve amendments as provided by NJSA 48:4-9 before adoption. So moved.
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca.
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
Aye.
I also motion that for this evening, we will table the adoption of the budget, but we will hold the public hearing pending amendments with the look to the budget being adopted at the first meeting in June. So move.
Second.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca.
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
Aye.
Are we happy now? Okay. Okay. So now let's move on to the presentation. Sal, can you put the presentation up on the monitor? Please. I think you can see it from everywhere in the room. You don't have to crowd around. So. So tonight we have a couple things to do.
Jokes.
While we're not adopting the budget tonight, it is important that we understand what is driving our budget and understanding how important it is to share information that allows the public to better understand if we're asking them for money, where is their money going? Why is it being spent? What's it being spent on? And recognize that in order for us to meet our obligation, and I think exceeded, having more transparency and plain language readability in our budget is critical. Ray Sarinelli from the Zavachian Company is here tonight to provide additional comments from his perspective on the work in Nutley, as well as his firm's perspective on what's happening in the state of New Jersey. As you look at the budget document itself, and actually this presentation, look at it with an eye that understands that this is a budget that is formulated by 5 municipal departments, which are all together, brought all together as one budget. So 5 departments, one budget. Each commissioner has contributed to preparing their budget and understanding what the specific needs are for their department. As Commissioner Petracca just earlier articulated how important it is that emergency services are when you need them. You may not need them every day, but when you need them, you need them. So I'm hopeful that the document that we're presenting this year, that people will recognize that we're going well beyond what the state requires. The state requires us to take the state budget document, which is some 50 pages long, and it's got a lot of technical jargon in it, which most people struggle with because it's in almost like a unique language to look at it. This presentation takes that entire document and presents it in a fair and plain way. So we'll walk through it. The headline before we get into it is straightforward. The municipal budget is going up by $322, including $18 for the library, so it's $340. And we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about that financially, that we are, as a township, we're in great shape financially. We don't have a significant amount of outstanding debt. We're able to pay our bills. We don't need to go into temporary financing to pay our bills between tax payments. We manage that all very well. And we maximize the use of grant dollars to minimize the amount of debt that we need to incur, but do some great things with it. So with that, let's open up the presentation and start. So, if we can, Sal, if you can flip for me, that would be great. And the next slide. You know, our obligation to you is laid out here. Is the health, welfare, and safety of the community. And it's an orientation for everything we do. I won't read slides verbatim, but this is in the event that if someone was to pick up the document, they would understand why we do what we do, and have it be presented in an informed way. As I mentioned, we're only required to give you the major budget document, but this one operates well beyond that by providing a plain language document that everyone can understand, and hopefully, if they have questions, be able to ask those questions and understand the budget. And as I previously said, the budget is a compilation of the 5 departments of the township presented in one budget. Sal, tonight we're going to walk through the 5 sections of the budget. The first 4 relate to the municipal government itself. The last one addresses the combined water and sewer utility. Sal, so in section 1, I've explained already that we're careful about what we spend money on. We also owe it to everybody to understand whatever we're spending money on, what does it mean to the everyday homeowner and their tax bill? And we have attempted to do our best to lay that out with this presentation. So it's written for the residents of the town, people who don't have a financial or an accounting background. We've tried to eliminate as much jargon as possible. And also we provided that the presentation is available online, as well as a link to, if people have questions, they can write their questions online and they will find their way to the CFO's office for purposes of follow-up and response. Sal, here's a story. We're up $322 to run the 5 municipal departments of the township. The person's property tax bill includes that municipal portion, which is $4,674, which is increasing $322 or 7%. Another $200 of their property tax bill covers the cost of the operations of the library. That's statutory. There's a formula for that, and we fund it at the statutory level. The school district is on the property tax bill. We do not, as a board, have responsibility for this. It's adopted by the school board, and that increases the property tax bill by an additional, on average, $7,234, or it's an increase of $410 this year. The school board just recently adopted their budget. They were at $392, but their calculation didn't take into consideration the increase in the average assessed value of the townships, but its reality it's $410. I'm not sure what the county is going to be, but in light of the fact that the county budget did go up, we're estimating an additional $50 for that, or within that average tax bill, $2,009 to cover the cost of the county. So this year, the average tax bill for a house assessed at $497 and $497,000, that average tax bill is going to be $14,120 on the average. So if your house is assessed for more than that, your bill will be greater than the estimated total of an $800 increase. And that's significant. As far as the township, what we control, right? And I'm throwing the library in because that's we're responsible for the statutory element of that. That's $340 or roughly $28.33 a month is what we're looking at on average for that average household. It's important that to note that the levy for the library increased by $181,000, which is about 9%, but that's based upon the assessed value of the municipality against the state formula. Our municipal tax increase of $322 is actually higher by $30 because the school board did not continue to support the school crossing guards funding of $300,000 like they have in prior years. So we had to absorb that cost in order to make sure that we provided for the safety of our school children. Sal? When you break it down as a township, for 2026, we need $67,661,822 in order to operate the municipality. We don't need to raise all of that from taxpayers. We receive revenues other than taxes of an amount of $604,264. The municipal levy. Huh? I'm sorry. I did. Did I say 1,000?
Yes.
604,264. I should get a second set of reading glasses to go with my reading glasses. So the municipal levy, what we be asking the taxpayers to pay us for municipal services for the 5 departments is $47,024,397, which is up $3,147,989 over the prior year, or 7.2%. When you add in the library, the total increase is $3,329,337, for a total of 7.3%. So, moving on, again, it's important that when you look at that slide, which shows a town-wide increase of $800, the Board of Commissioners directly controls the municipal portion for the 5 departments of the township. We are responsible by law, though, to collect 100% of the tax increase and then distribute it to each party. So we are the collection function of the township. We also bear the risk that if people don't pay the tax, the risk of non-collection rests with the municipality. Both the county and the school district receive 100% of their budget by statute. So the risk exposure is on the municipality. It's very easy, and I laid it out here. I won't go through it, but to show that if you take your assessed value, divide it by 100 times the municipal tax rate, you'll get to your municipal tax bill of $4,674 if you are at that average. What follows is, then, okay, $4,674, what do you receive as a town? So I'll move on. So this breaks down, very plainly, right? It says, okay, for $4,674, the average taxpayer is paying for emergency services, so safety, $2,520, for parks, buildings and recreation, $409, for administrative services, which covers IT, the entire Revenue and Finance Department, some aspects of the mayor's office, because it includes the township attorney and so on, are included in that administrative services. Roads and street lighting is another $278, garbage and recycling, $213. Our debt service is $184 at 3.9%. That is below any metric standard to show good fiscal policy in terms of managing long-term debt. Insurance other than our medical is $181. Health and veteran services, $149, and planning and zoning is $59, with a small piece for capital improvement. So I wanted to lay this out so that a taxpayer, when they're looking at their bill, can understand what they're paying for. And that it was that easy. If they have any questions, it would be easy to be able to direct their questions accordingly. Sal, please. So what happened this year? This year we faced cost increases that rose the operating cost by $2,862,030, plus the $181,000 for the library. As you lay that out, direct the most significant overriding cost, which is not only affecting the township of Nutley, is impacting the entire state of New Jersey, whether you're in-state health benefits or in private plans. Health benefit costs have gone up extraordinarily. So for the township, our health medical insurance bill increased by $3,015,000. Our salaries, which are subject to union contracts and factors that influence that, is up $977,000, of which $877,000 is in public safety, and about $100,000 is in the other combined departments. We manage our other expenses, so we're very careful about what we spend. So that's up, $244,000. And as you would expect, gas and electric charges are up $70,000. Our debt is down because last year we filtered through a one-time payment for the initial payment on the purchase of the 777 property for the school, which offset the overall increase. Absent that offset, our expenses would have been up much higher, and our actual increase would have been higher than the 7%. So in one slide, you got the picture of the entire budget. In the slide before, these two combined, you understand fully what's happening to the municipal environment that we have. Moving to section 3. We don't tax, as I mentioned earlier, we don't get, I have to raise all of our taxes from cover all of our costs from property taxes. We do get revenues, and it comes in the form of state aid, pilot payments, interest, fees, and every year we have a fund balance. Some call it a surplus, but every year we take that surplus that we generate every year and reapply it to the following year's increase. So we don't retain a surplus. We keep rolling the surplus every year as it regenerates. And I'll lay this out on the next slide. So if you look, our revenue sources are laid out. So we applied our reserve balance of $5,250,000. We received $5,310,000 worth of state aid. We are applying pilot revenues from the the existing pilots that we have in town, which covers one of the senior buildings, the medical school, and 2 properties on the On3 Hop and the Roche property. And that covers all of that, which increased by $400,000. Interest has been very good to us. With the higher interest rates, we're able to collect more interest. So our interest applied is up $315,000. Delinquent taxes, we actually went down a little bit because we collected more than anticipated, but delinquent taxes is stable every year, around $1 million that we seem to collect. While we have outstanding balances, it stays around that amount. The EMS billings, we get that through Medicare and Medicaid. We collected, actually, Commissioner, if I'm correct, about $735,000. We recognized $715,000 because it's volatile. So if I have a shortfall, it creates a problem. So we just kind of cut it a little bit just to be on the conservative side. Construction fees, they're pretty stable. Our parking meter revenue, this is actually better than these past couple of years because of the new metering systems that are in town. A few years ago, these numbers would have been less than $200,000. Cable franchise fees went down a little bit, and I think that's because there's been a lot of cable promotion programs that are out there that are causing a slight change. And as you can see, as I mentioned, last year we did the initial payment on the 777 building, and this year the $250,000 represents a principal pay down. And as I noted earlier, we could not anticipate $300,000 from the Board of Ed for the school crossing guards. So that's the composition of our roughly $18 million in revenues. But if you look at it, The bulk of our revenues come from applied reserve, state aid, and what we're getting in pilot revenues. The interest income is going to remain strong, I think, for the rest of this year as we get through the climate that we're in right now, that everybody's experiencing. Inflation starts to get under control. That interest rate will settle back down to more historical levels, which has been more in the $600,000 to $800,000 range. So, absent the pay down, the loss of the pay down of the one-time payment of the medical school, you could see that our revenues actually improved by a little over $1 million year over year. So our revenues are stable. They're sound. They're reliable revenues. The challenge that we have is what I mentioned earlier. The most significant driver of the cost increase for the municipality is the cost of healthcare, which is affecting the entire state of New Jersey. So when you look at another aspect of what we look at, so that's the operating side of the budget, but we also bond, we also incur debt, and we're very careful about that. Right now, today, with S&P, we enjoy a AA1 bond rating. We're just one step below a AAA. If you think about that in plain language, it's the equivalent of having a personal credit score of over 800, and which is very sound. It enables us to borrow money at low interest rates for the benefit of the taxpayers. When you look at our debt, it's gone down year over year by roughly $3 million. We're carrying right now fully $21 million worth of debt, but that's only 11% of what we could borrow, because our borrowing capability is $174 million based upon the assessed value of the town. And the reason why that's important is just because the value of property is worth a lot of money, and we could, based upon the value of that property, incur a lot of debt. We also have to consider what is the burden on the taxpayer. And the median income in Nutley is between $115,000 and $120,000. If we were to go beyond that 11%, I think that would actually be an unfair burden to our taxpayers. So we try to control that as best we can. It's just worth mentioning that we did pick up the building on 777 Bloomfield Avenue, which is the new school. And what's important about that is this Board of Commissioners stepped in and used that as a catalyst to make sure that our school system was able to advance in light of the challenges that they're facing, and that we're going to carry that temporarily because the bulk of their debt matures in 2032. And when that debt comes off their books, this debt can safely transfer to their books without increasing the burden on the taxpayers on the school side. So we're timing it, we're watching it, and along the way, we will look to reduce the balance before it transfers. That move, coupled with the nature of how we're financing it, has enabled the school to prepare the middle school for the sixth graders who will enter the middle school in September of 2026. Which has been something that the school district has been trying to do for many, many years. So our school system is moving forward. The infrastructure is sound, and we will manage this. But when you look at that, it eliminated the need for an $80 million school referendum, because when you look at this cost as well as the cost incurred for the middle school, we're doing it all for about $12 million. And that's the committee that Commissioner Tucci and I have been sitting on, and we've been guiding them through. I know, Al, you have had many conversations with, in fact, the entire board has had, but making sure that we continue to move the school board forward. So as the saying goes, the way the school goes, the way the town goes. So this is just a snapshot, just gives you a quick snapshot. And the graph is simple. It just basically tells you that our debt model since over the years has been stable, and it will continue to be that way. Next slide. When you look at, this is the composition of our debt. What's very important about this is that we will pay down our debt by $2,566,697. But what's the most valuable piece of this is that if you look where we have our general obligation bonds, the school note, as well as the Green Acres notes, on average, our outstanding debt, which you're looking at, is $21 million. On average, that's all covered by an interest rate of 2.1%. So given our bond rating, given the way we're managing it, we're seen as a very good credit. And therefore, we're able to demand lower interest rates. And when you think about that in the climate today, where car loan interest is over 5%, house mortgage interest at 6%, as a municipality, we are financially strong and we will maintain that posture. Next, just a word on grants. It's very important that we never lose sight of the fact of how important grant opportunities are. We do have a dedicated grant company that helps source, which benefits everybody. Every year on an annual basis, we apply for many grants. We've been successful in getting over $1 million a year. And in fact, last year we got 2.3 million. A big part of that was the Father Glassback funding from Green Acres. Yep. So very significant. And generally what you find what it's going for, improving our parks and improving our roadways. So Chestnut Street, Bloomfield Avenue, there's been a lot of improvements in the roadways. It's going along to do that. Every dollar that we get there reduces the amount of money that we have to borrow, but it enables us to move things forward. So that's the municipality in a nutshell. When you move on, we have to talk about the utility, the sewer utility. The sewer utility is not included in the property tax or in the tax levy. It is a separate entity. It's a separate legal entity which has its own billing structure and it has its own cost structure. So the utility itself covers the costs and services that are provided to provide water and sewer services to the township. We fully completed the transfer to the utility in 2025. So 2026 and 2025 are the 2 years of full operation. I have not presented anything in here tonight about the revenue side because that is still subject to negotiation on the part of the Board of Commissioners, and that will continue over the next few weeks. So what I am presenting tonight here is what are the costs and what's the composition of those costs. So if you look at it, the reddish brown color, those are external costs that we get bills for. So we get Passaic Valley Sewer for this year. We get a bill for $5,065,000. North Jersey Water, Passaic Valley Water, Newark Water, where we get our water sources, is at $2,480,000. So $545,000 is fixed costs that are in the utility. There are managed costs, and those cover salaries of just about 2.5 million, benefits, pension, and insurance costs of 1.1 million, operating expenses of 423,000, and debt service of 186,000. So the total utility budget is $11,780,000. What we're working on is a rate structure, and that rate structure will determine how we collect from the users the money necessary to pay our bills in the utility. But of important note, Passaic Valley sewer bill went up 7.2%. Our water provider costs went up 4.3%. Salaries went up 4%. Benefits went up 3.4%. Debt service and operating costs are down to neutral. They're the smaller elements of it. So it gives you a pretty full picture of what the cost of operations are. So, and here's another way of looking at it. So the red and the brownish color, that represents the fixed costs, and the managed costs are on the other side. if you look at that, you'll see that the split is about 64% of the budget is fixed, 36% is managed, including salaries, benefits, everything combined that could be managed. When you look at all those areas combined on the managed side, those costs are going up about less than 1%. The bulk of the cost increase in the utility relates to the cost of sewer treatment and the providing of water to the municipality. So I laid that out for for everyone benefit so that tonight we understand that our budget covers the 5 municipal departments, a separate legal entity for the utility, and then the statutory required payments for the library. Overall, that's how our utility, our system lays out this year. I've asked Ray to join us so he can provide some comments as well.
I know what excites accountants.
Speaking to the mic, Ray. After you avoid comments like that.
I think it's great. If, without the explanation, this presentation, in my opinion, is something that you can take the time to read and actually understand. And it was prepared by Commissioner Evans on his own. There were 27 versions before tonight's version, which is also what accountants do, making sure all the details were correct. And I have to say, it's one of the best plain language budget presentations I've seen by an elected official. Usually it's us two over here trying to put all this information, and I think it's amazing that an elected official gets that deep into what's going on in the budget and the finances to be able to prepare an analysis that's that detailed. One of the things that I usually add is, so what's going on in the rest of the state while Nutley is struggling with probably the worst budget that it's had to deal with, and passing on an increase that's larger than you've seen in many, many years. And I know you wrestle with that. So I happened to see this week, there was a survey done of CFOs if they wanted to put their budget information into a summary. I haven't verified it, but there were 65 people that put their budget information in, and almost 25% had a higher rate than Nutley's increase, right? Nutley's increase is 7.2 or 7.3 or 7.4. 25% had increases up to 12%. So it's not just a Nutley issue, it's a statewide issue. I don't think it's going away this year. I think it's something that's going to come back around next year, and you're going to struggle again with it. From my perspective, Dee and I went back and looked at the last 10 years of what the tax increase was, and the percentages are below inflation rates. The CPI for the previous 10 years to now was 2.86%. Your tax increases were 1.91%. So over a 10-year period, you've kept your inflation or your average or your tax increase to the average homeowner at less than 2%, while inflation was at 2.86. So I know you take looking at the budget, how it impacts taxpayers. Now, if you add in this year's increase, the 10-year average for your budget increase is 2.46, and the inflation for 10 years is 3.07. So even though that you have this unheard of for Nutley increase is 7.4%, when you look at it over a 10-year period, it's still pretty respectable that on average for all those years, you're still below what inflation is. We talked about what other towns are doing. Let's see. Oh, cap. So, the question gets raised. So you have these cap rules, 2%, 2.5%. How can we be at 7.4%? So, and that's what the state legislature does. They tell you how much you can spend, and they spend what they desire. There's no cap on the state budget. At any rate, those caps have been in place since 1977. They've been adjusted and modified many, many times. And in fact, you have two caps, one on the appropriation, how much you can spend, and one on the tax levy and how much that can go up. So how does it get to 7.4%? Well, it gets there because you get an exception for something that's mandated to you. So what was mandated to you was a $3,015,000 increase in your health insurance, right? Your tax levy is going up $3,147,000. So almost all of your tax levy increase has to do with health insurance, and most of that is a cap exception. The state legislature recognizes that they can't tell you your health insurance is going up 27%, but we're going to keep you to a 2% levy. It would devastate your municipal budget. So I know that question has been raised. I wanted to answer it up front. Tonight, the rest of the process is continue to hold your hearing on the budget. You're going to table the budget. There's further discussions that are going to be held relative to the rate structure for the water, sewer, utility. Once that gets done, hopefully a rate ordinance will be presented, and you'll be able to adopt your budget at next month's meeting.
Thank you, Ray. And commissioners, any comments? Mayor, any comments?
We want to go down the line, or? All right, I'll go first. I think it's important to point out the debt service rating of AA1. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, Commissioner. The reason why we don't get the marquee rating of AAA is because we're just simply not eligible for it. We don't have enough value in the township to even be considered for that. That's correct?
Community income.
Community
It's
income.
there, but it's not it's the income.
So we're not even eligible for it. So we are the highest bond rating we can possibly get in the township. Yep. And Mr. Sarnelli touched on it, and I think it's important to repeat. And I do want to congratulate this board for the Herculean effort it took to get this budget to where it is. I know that sounds like we're celebrating a huge increase that we've never seen before. But Mr. Sarnelli commented on the health insurance increase of nearly 30%. And I think it's important, if you look at the slide that covers our operating costs from 25 to 26. If you look at our operating costs in 2025, it was or 64,800,000. Our operating costs in 2026 are 67,661,000. So if you back out the 3,015,000, our operating costs would have been 64,646,000. So we're operating leaner than we have been in years past, and that's a testament to everyone on this board. Had we not been throwing a couple curveballs, we'd be operating basically flat, basically possibly even leaner. A couple other things: our revenues are down by $500,000. We got the curveball from the school board for the $300,000 increase in our costs for our crossing guards. So these are things outside of our control that we have no control over. But what we do have control over, we're operating leaner, and I think that's very important to point out that the pieces of this budget that we have control over, we're cognizant of the impact on you as the taxpayers, and we're doing everything in our power to keep our costs down year over year. And those are the two big things I wanted to touch on. You did a very good job, Commissioner. I really appreciate this, and this is definitely one of the best budgetary presentations I've ever seen, and it's very easily digestible for the average person. So congratulations to you and your staff for putting it together. Did anyone else want?
Oh, sure. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. First, I'd like to thank Commissioner Evans. Once again, outstanding presentation. We're not anyone, no one here is happy with the outcome of what we're being faced with, but reality is reality and we need to deal with it. It doesn't hurt any less that we're not the only municipality in the state of New Jersey that's feeling the same pain. But I do want to speak for a moment to the health benefits, that $3 million plus increase. All right, in as much as health benefits are administered through the Parks and Public Property Department. We're part of the New Jersey State Health Benefits group. This was a pool that was put together many years ago and was managed by the state, similar to an insurance pool to offset high increases, all right, with better performing municipalities and to kind of level the field. Well, the last administration in Trenton pretty much dropped the ball. All right, I'm managing this, all right, and just kind of let it drift. So for whatever the reason was, maybe they wanted to get out of this business. We've had zero notification, all right, or warning about what it is we were going to be facing. So a $3 million increase in health benefits is unconscionable, all right? But in the lives of our employees, all right, and everyone else in this town and in this state, health benefits are a priority. You know, you always hope that you never need to use them. All right, but they need to be there in the event that you do. All right, we're managing this the best way we can. We offset every dollar that needs to be increased. All right, with innovation. All right, and different mindsets about how we approach this. I would just hope that this new administration in Trenton would provide some help. All right, and not the lopsidedness that we've seen in the past where we've gone up 26 or 27% on a municipal level. And there were some groups in the state, some union and some other groups who only went up 3%. So who foots the rest of that bill? It's us. All right. Unfortunately, this is carrying forward. I would urge our new governor to take a good hard look at this and to give us some relief in this area. Commissioner Evans also mentioned grants, something that we in the Parks Department are very proud of. Our new field, our new girls softball field here at Father Glotzbach was a $1.2 million grant. We have a sensory sensitive playground that's being installed, replacing the older playground so that everyone in our community can benefit not only from our beautiful parks, our 110 acres, but also from all of the amenities that we can put forward. All right. I'm very proud to say that our facilities here in Nutley not only rival some of the best colleges in the state and in the country, but in many cases are much better. All right. We're going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to take care of our seniors. We're going to continue to take care of our taxpayers. All right. And like Commissioner Scarpelli is faced with extraordinary increases in Passaic Valley sewage, all right, and in water purchases. We all work together to see what it is we can do to mitigate some of these increases. So once again, thank you, Commissioner Evans, for this presentation. It's outstanding. And thank you, everyone else, for working towards this budget. And I look forward to a lower budget next year.
Well, we're not done this year. We got work to do.
Thank you.
A little bit. Unless you have.
Who wants to go first? All right, Commissioner Scarpelli.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, thank you, Commissioner Evans, for a great budget presentation. You're right, you didn't read every word. It was every third I counted. So, but listen, we're faced with these extraordinary healthcare increases, and not only us, but our employees. And unless the state's going to come in and tackle this issue, we're going to have further issues with school districts, municipalities, and our employees. Cannot continue at 17, 20, 25, 27% increases. It's impossible for us to handle that on a local level. That needs to be addressed at the state level. The governor did mention that in her last address, that she's looking at state health benefits. So That's a good sign because no one's talked about that before besides trying to figure out how they can help some state workers and stick it to the rest of the people to pick up the burden, as Commissioner Tucci mentioned. So we have a little work to do. I can say no one's happy about the increase. We all have to pay that. We all live here. But I think based on the circumstances we face, we're doing the best that we can.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Petracco?
Well, I hope I end this on a positive note going last, but I do have a few comments. The first comment is, Tom, I've always said this, you're an asset to the town. What Ray said about you too is to simplify this and make us all understand it. Not that I enjoy the numbers that are on these pamphlets, but you're fantastic. I also want to thank Dee too. You know, we torture her from public safety all the time. I usually call her with a tone in my voice because I'm not happy about something, but your professionalism is really appreciated, Dee. And, you know, I know you do a lot of that work and we appreciate it. Ray, I hear you and I have a lot more in common than we thought. It's always nice to see you here. I'll just say a couple things. First of all, I want to thank all my fellow commissioners as well. I know public safety is the biggest part of the municipal budget, and you guys the last 20 years have recognized that, and you know, you should always do the right thing by funding us, as we've seen over the weekend, not to be redundant. You know, what could happen, and you know, obviously we need these guys. And again, you know, public safety, when everybody else is home, when we're sleeping, they're out there. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Christmas, holidays, they never go home. And obviously those numbers reflect that. I will say that I really am rooting for our new governor. Um, you know, I've said this to pretty much everybody on the board. You know, our jobs, you know, and to me, it is the hours are getting longer. It's not a part-time job. We struggle. We answer a million questions from the residents. I know our phones don't stop ringing. I know mine doesn't. But I feel like we are being pushed in a position where, you know, it's hard to figure out the puzzle. You know, so I'm hoping that Mikey Sherrill does recognize that, you know, even, you know, townships like Nutley, the state aid formula, which Commissioner Evans has been arguing for years, that, you know, we get pennies compared to the other towns. The insurance in Commissioner Tucci's office, you know, how something can go up $3 million, and we're supposed to figure out that in these, you know, little municipalities, it's you know, things that are just impossible. You know, so you know, here, you know, politicians are changing in our area, and the country, a different viewpoint. But, you know, we really need to keep our eye on the ball here in Nutley and townships like us to get our fair share, because, you know, as much as I don't want to vote for this number, if we don't vote for this number that's on the table, we're going to start having a town that nobody's going to want to live in, because we're not going to have the services that we're used to having here in Nutley. You know, and again, you know, it's a terrible number. I know that we've all do our best, but if we keep cutting these budgets, you know, when you have a $3 million increase, you know, for health benefits, and our increase is $3 million, it's kind of a wash. Like the mayor said, it would have been flat. You know, so this is, you know, outside of our control, unfortunately, and I'm hoping that, you know, the county, you know, the state, well, not the county, but the state really steps it up and doesn't forget about Nutley. So like I said, I'm rooting for the new governor. I really hope she steps up in here in our hometown. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. And I just want to add that if you're as frustrated as we are, contact your state legislators, contact your congressional delegation, contact the governor's office, and let them know how this budget affects you. Because as we said, the biggest drivers of the costs that are being passed on to you are things entirely outside of our control and inside the control of those individuals. So you're just as frustrated as we are, please, by all means, contact those individuals. Thank you. And I'll turn it back over to Commissioner Evans.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to echo those comments. I think it's important that we all reinforce as much as we can that the state has to step up and figure out what they're going to do with health benefits costs. It's affecting every municipality, and not just, the government side, school boards too, because not every school board is outside of state health benefits. There's a lot there. And it's also concerning for retirees as well, because they're part of that structure in terms of state benefits. I do agree the governor is doing a lot. She just recently mentioned that this is on her table of agenda items to do. I don't think she'll have the ability to even get to it until later in the year, but she has formed a committee to look at it and start to formulate recommendations. So it's now at the early stages of being looked at. And I do agree that the previous administration, Governor Murphy, I don't think they put much weight on looking at this. And I think in part of it is because there was a lot of COVID money going around, which made the state budget work. So this became something that was able to fall under the radar. I think it's also important to note, Mayor, and since you raised it, when we first started the budget process, if you guys remember, the first increase that we talked about in an executive was $598 on average, right? And through pushing the revenues as much as we can through cost cutting and things that we've been able to evaluate and the work that we all did together, and I thank you all for that, we've been able to get it down to $322. So there is some $260 of tax increase that we've been able to absorb. The challenge with that is whatever we've done this year, we've tightened up. So if we get hit again, we have less of an ability to absorb it. So going forward, much of the increases that we incur, whether they're labor contract increases, healthcare increases, other liability insurance increases, and things that we face, as well as what's going on with sewer and water, those increases are going to become very real because we have less of an ability to absorb. We pulled out the stops to keep this under control this year. So I'm hopeful that something will break that will help us manage what we're going to face next year. And remember, we all know that salary increases are not outside the cap. So that's an important factor. And even though the you can get to exclude from the cap calculation health benefits over 4%, we still have to absorb 4%. So and our appropriations are limited to 3.5%. So even if they come up more than that amount, we're going to have to find a way to live within our means. And I see that as becoming more challenging in order to maintain Nutley as a place where you want to live and raise a family and make sure that it's safe, that we provide for the people that need us, and that we have a great town. So I want to thank you for all the work that you've done. I'll continue to be in my office every day as I have been. It feels like sometimes I'm trying to figure out how do I retire from my retirement, because I'm putting in 30 hours a week. So it's one of those things that you do, and not because of, and as you said, we don't do this for money. We do this because we care about the town. If you're going to live here, you got to participate. And that's the way I think universally we all feel about that. Although I keep on reminding us that the commissioner's compensation hasn't been raised since 1947. See, Al, I told you I'd figure out a way to get that in there.
It's probably not a good year to address it.
So anyway, thank you all. Again, we're tabling a vote until most likely June 3rd. Okay, thank you.
Do we need to open the hearing for this tonight, or are we?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Um,
So at this time, we will have the public hearing on the budget as introduced. Anyone wishing to be heard and address the Board of Commissioners on the budget introduced, please approach the microphone and state your name for the record. All right.
Motion to close.
Second.
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci?
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli?
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca? Mayor Kelly?
Aye.
Thank you, Mayor.
And then, all right, we'll move into resolutions. Commissioner Evans.
Thank you. Just one second. Be resolved by the Board of Commissioners of the Township of Nutley County of Essex State of New Jersey that the treasurer is hereby authorized to refund overpayments of tax charges in the amount of $4,647.18 for the properties listed in the resolution. So move.
Second.
Commissioner Scarpelli?
Aye.
Commissioner Evans?
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca? Commissioner Tucci?
Aye.
Mayor Kelly?
Aye.
Whereas Code Enforcement Department received a zoning application fee in the amount of $75 from Julie Philab for the property located at 434 Center Street, whereas a permit fee in the amount of $75 was collected and deposited into account 601-2220-902-903, whereas upon review, the Code Enforcement Department determined that it was a duplicate payment. Now therefore be resolved by the Board of Commissioners of the Township of Nutley County of Essex, State of New Jersey, the Township Treasurer is hereby authorized to refund the zoning application fee in the amount of $75. So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Evans?
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci?
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli?
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca? Mayor Kelly?
Aye.
My next resolution, I think it's my last, is for our bond counsel for services that have been rendered. Whereas the Township of Nutley has a need to retain legal services for qualified vendors in connection with the authorization and issuance of bonds or notes, including the review of such procedures and the rendering of approving legal opinions acceptable to the financial community. Whereas the Chief Financial Officer has received one proposal from Hawkins, Field and Wood LLP for the provision of said services on April 29, 2026. Whereas the contract is awarded without competitive bidding as a professional service in accordance with NJSA 19:44A 20.4 or 20.5. Whereas the Board of Commissioners has determined that Hawkins, Field and Wood are located at One Gateway Center, 24th floor, Newark, New Jersey, is qualified and best suited to provide the services to the township. Whereas Hawkins, Field and Wood LLP have completed and submitted the business entity disclosure certification, which certifies that said corporation has not made any reportable contributions to a political or candidate committee in the Township of Nutley in the previous 1 year, and that the contract will prohibit Hawkins, Field and Wood from making any reportable contributions through the term of the contract. Whereas funds are available for this purpose in account 601-208-205, subject to the adoption of the 2026 municipal budget and the applicable 2026 capital ordinances, and Chief Financial Officer has certified the availability as funds as required by law. Whereas Hawkins, Field, Wood LLP has submitted a proposal for the services. In accordance with the proposal, will perform the services at a cost not to exceed $17,500. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners, State of New Jersey, as follows: the Mayor and Township Clerk are hereby authorized to execute a professional service contract with Hawkins, Delafield and Wood for a 1-year term commencing January 1, 2026 through December 31st, 2026, at a cost not to exceed $17,500, subject to the appropriation of sufficient funds in the 2026 temporary and adopted budgets. Otherwise, the contract cannot exceed the amount available for the 2026 temporary budget budgets themselves. Copy of this resolution, as well as the contract, shall be placed on file with the clerk of the township, and a notice in accordance with the local public contract law of the state of New Jersey shall be published in the Nutley Sun. So moved.
Second.
Commissioner
Elena,
Ab-
does that should I read as the website too, or is it just the Nutley Sun?
It's going to be on the website. That's yes,
It doesn't have to be in the Nutley Sun.
it does not.
All right, so it would be.
That was probably an oversight.
NutleyNJ.org.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
thank you. Commissioner Evans,
All right,
Commissioner Tucci,
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli,
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca,
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
Aye.
thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Moving on to Commissioner Tucci.
Thank you, Mayor. Whereas the Department of Parks and Public Property determined due to unforeseen circumstances, families had to cancel participation in programs offered. And whereas the Department of Parks and Public Property has determined the need to refund families, now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of the Township of Nutley, County of Essex, State of New Jersey, that the treasurer be, and she is hereby authorized to refund payments for recreation programs in the amounts listed below. For our neighbors at 25 Columbia Avenue for the Rise and Shine program in the amount of $160 for this year, and our neighbors at 128 Park Avenue, second floor, for our summer intensive program in the amount of $350 again for this year. I move the resolution.
Second.
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci,
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli,
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca,
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
Aye.
My next resolution, 107-26, I am deferring for this evening and will bring it back at a later date. Whereas Township of Nutley has a need to acquire specialized professional services as a non-fair and open contract pursuant to the provision of NJSA 19:44A-20.5. And whereas Township of Nutley through Department of Parks and Public Property has a need to acquire specialized and professional services for architectural services for the feasibility and/or expansion and renovation to the Nutley Health Department. Whereas the anticipated term of this contract is for 12 months from the date of contract award. And whereas Dassa Haynes Architectural Group LLC, 74 East Passaic Avenue, Nutley, New Jersey, has submitted a proposal indicating that they will provide such services for the sum not to exceed $6,750. And whereas Dassa Haynes Architectural Group has completed and submitted a business entity disclosure certification, which certifies that said corporation has not made any reportable contributions to a political or candidate committee in the Township of Nutley in the previous 1 year, and that the contract will prohibit Dassa Haynes from making any reportable contributions to the term of this contract. Whereas funds are available from account G-04-55-186-410 in the amount of $6,750 and have been certified by the Chief Financial Officer, said certification being attached to this resolution. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners of the Township of Nutley, County of Essex, State of New Jersey, enter into a contract with Dassa Haynes Architectural Group as described herein, and be it further resolved that the business disclosure entity certification and the determination of value be placed on file with this resolution. Be it further resolved that a notice of this action shall be printed once in the Nutley Sun in accordance with local public contracts law. I move the resolution.
Second.
Commissioner Evans,
All right,
Commissioner Tucci,
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca.
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Scarpelli.
Thank you, Mayor. Whereas Public Works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainability, to sustainable and resilient communities, and to public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of the Township of Nutley. Whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services cannot be provided without the dedicated efforts of Public Works professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. Whereas in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children of the Township of Nutley to gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2026 marks the 66th annual National Public Works Week sponsored by the American Public Works Association. And whereas this year's theme, Rooted in Service, Powered by Community, acknowledges that the roots of service run deep in public works. Some work, like building roads and bridges, is highly visible, and other public works contributing, like maintaining water and sewer systems, are found sometimes hidden from view. Together, these efforts form the foundation of thriving communities, reminding us that every project, seen or unseen, powers the connection between service and the people it supports. Now therefore be resolved that the Board of Commissioners Township of Nutley, County of Essex, State of New Jersey, do hereby designate the week of May 17th to the 23rd, 2026 as National Public Works Week in the Township of Nutley, and call upon our citizens to acquaint themselves with the issues in providing public works and to recognize the substantial contributions our professionals, engineers, managers, employees make to protecting our national health, safety, and advancing the quality of life for all. I move the resolution.
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci,
As a former Public Works Director myself, I proudly vote aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli,
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca, Mayor Kelly.
Aye.
Whereas Nutley is a member of the Morris County Cooperative Pricing Council, and whereas the Morris County Co-op awarded a bid for curbing contract number 6, District number 6, to Spelly and Son General Contracting, 81 Franklin Avenue, Nutley, New Jersey. Whereas Nutley utilized the Morris County Co-op to install, remove, replace concrete curbing with restoration on Brookdale Avenue in Nutley. Whereas funds from account number CO 455-170-401 in the amount of $30,070.96 and account number CO 455-181-409 in the amount of $37,172.54 for a total of $67,243.50 have been certified by the Chief Financial Officer. And whereas Engineering Service has recommended a change order number 1 in the amount of $8,874.75 for additional quantities for a total contract amount of $76,118.25. And whereas funds are available from account number CO 455-181-409 in the amount of $8,874.75 have been certified by the Chief Financial Officer, said certification attached to this resolution. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners, Township of Nutley County of Essex, State of New Jersey, that change order number 1 as attached as a change from the contracts originally awarded to Sabelli and Son General Contracting. It is hereby authorized and approved. I move the resolution.
Second.
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci,
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli,
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca, Mayor Kelly.
Aye.
This is resolution number 11626. I'm going to read by title. Resolution authorizing the Township of Nutley to sign an NJDEP Treatment Works approval application for the connections of a 3-story R&D facility of approximately 56,082 square feet located at 340 and 430 Kingsland Street, Nutley, New Jersey, 07110 into the Township of Nutley sanitary source system. I move the resolution.
Second.
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci,
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli,
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca,
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
Aye.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Petracca?
Yes, whereas on May 5th, 2026, the Board of Commissioners of the Township of Nutley awarded a non-fair and open contract to Motorola Solutions, Inc. for the provisions of support, maintenance, and related services for the Township Police Department in-car video system. Whereas the Township requires to continue support, maintenance, and necessary upgrades, God bless you, to ensure the system remains fully operational and up to date. And whereas Motorola Solutions, Inc. has performed all contract obligations in a satisfactory manner and services provided to continue to meet the needs of the Township, whereas the Township desires to renew and extend its agreement with Motorola Solutions, Inc. for a period of 5 years, commencing January 1st, 2026, and expire on December 31st, 2030 for ongoing services, hardware, and maintenance. And whereas the Chief Financial Officer has certified availability of funds in account 601308213 for 2026 budget year, subject for the appropriations of sufficient funds into 2026 temporary and/or adopted municipal budget and future years of contingent upon annual appropriations. Wow. Now therefore be resolved by the Board of Commissioners, Township of Nutley, County of Essex, State of New Jersey as follows, and there's 5 other items that are listed, and I'm going to move it as written.
Second.
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci,
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli,
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca,
Not to mention, I read about Motorola for the last 5 weeks here. Thank you. Aye,
Mayor Kelly.
Aye. Thank you, Commissioner.
very well.
I have 4 resolutions on for this evening. The first one's resolution number 11126, recognizing Food Allergy Awareness Week. Whereas Food Allergy Awareness Week was established as a national week of encouraging food allergy awareness and supporting those who are affected by food allergies and anaphylaxis. And whereas food allergies affect as many as 32 million Americans, including 26 million adults and 5.6 million children. And whereas 9 foods account for 90% of all food allergy reactions: peanuts, tree nuts, milk, egg, wheat, soy, fish, shellfish, and sesame. However, almost any food can cause a reaction. And whereas a food allergy is an immune system response to a food the body mistakenly believes is harmful. When a person with food allergy eats the food, his or her immune system releases massive amounts of chemicals, including histamine, that trigger a cascade of symptoms that can affect the respiratory system, the gastrointestinal tract, the skin, and the cardiovascular system, where anaphylaxis is a serious allergic reaction that comes on quickly and has the potential to become life-threatening, and there is no cure for food allergies. So strict avoidance is the only way to prevent an allergic reaction, whereas Food Allergy and Anaphylaxis Connection Team FACT is a national nonprofit organization committed to their mission to educate, advocate, and raise awareness for all individuals and families affected by food allergies and life-threatening anaphylaxis. Now, therefore, be resolved that the Board of Commissioners of the Township of Nutley County of Essex, State of New Jersey, recognize the week of May 10th to 16th, 2026 as Food Allergy Awareness Week. Encourage all residents to increase their understanding and awareness of this potentially life-threatening medical condition, improving the quality of life of 32 million Americans affected by food allergies and anaphylaxis. I move the resolution.
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli,
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco.
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
Aye. The next one I have. Oh. The next one I have on for this evening is Resolution 11226. Whereas Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month is observed each May to celebrate the rich history, diverse cultures, and significant contributions of Asian American and Pacific Islanders to the United States, whereas the 2026 national theme for Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month is Power in Unity, Strengthening Communities Together, highlights the importance of collective strengths, shared stories, and building bridges across communities. Whereas AAIP communities have played a vital role in shaping the nation's economic growth, cultural richness, civic life, and continue to serve as leaders, innovators, and advocates in all sectors of society. Whereas the Township of Nutley is proud to recognize and celebrate its vibrant Asian and Pacific Islander community, whose members contribute to education, business, healthcare, public service, arts, and community engagement. Whereas this month provides an opportunity to honor the resilience, achievements, and cultural traditions of Asian and Pacific Islander individuals while fostering understanding, inclusion, and unity within our community. And therefore, it be resolved that the Mayor and Board of Commissioners of the Township of Nutley hereby do proclaim the month of May 2026 as Asian and Pacific Islander Heritage Month in the Township of Nutley, and be further resolved that all residents are encouraged to embrace this year's theme by strengthening connections, celebrating diversity, and working together to build a more inclusive and unified community. So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci,
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli,
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco.
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
Aye. The next one I have on for this evening is resolution number 11326. It's National Stroke Awareness Month, whereas Stroke Awareness Month is a national health observance every May to increase understanding of stroke, a medical emergency that occurs when blood flow to the brain is interrupted or reduced. Whereas someone in the United States has a stroke every 40 seconds and someone dies from a stroke every 3.5 minutes. Whereas a stroke can happen at any age, about 10% of all strokes can occur in people under 50, and whereas over 80% of strokes are preventable through lifestyle changes and managing risk factors such as high blood pressure. Whereas recognizing symptoms and learning the be fast, balance loss, eye vision, changes, face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty, time to call 911, warning signs, can help stroke patients get treatment they need to survive and reduce damage to the brain. Whereas the prevalence of transient ischemic attacks, TIA, mini strokes, increase with age. Up to 40% of all people who suffer TIA will go on to have a stroke. Whereas smoking, being overweight, drinking too much alcohol are all lifestyle factors. You can control these factors by quitting smoking, exercising regularly, and watching what and how much eat and limiting alcohol consumption. And therefore be resolved by the Board of Commissioners in the Township of Nutley County of Essex, State of New Jersey, that the month of May be declared as National Stroke Awareness Month, and encourage all citizens of the Township of Nutley to learn the signs of stroke, as the sooner a patient receives medical treatment, the lower the risk of death or disability becomes. I move the resolution.
Second.
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci,
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco. Mayor Kelly.
Aye. The next one I have for this evening is resolution number 11826. This is on behalf of the entire Board of Commissioners. This is a resolution authorizing the execution of the developers agreement between the Township of Nutley and Nutley Town Center Redevelopers Urban Renewal Entity. I move this resolution as written and note that the negotiation is still going on with the town attorney. Any changes would be subject to the approval of the town attorney. I move the resolution.
Second.
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci,
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco.
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
Aye. At this time, we'll open the meeting to the public. Anyone wishing to be heard may approach the microphone and state your name for the record.
We have an-
We're gonna do an executive
Oh,
session.
we're gonna go to
Yeah.
executive income.
Seeing none, Mr. Bruno, we have a need for an executive session, right?
Mayor, we do have the need to go into closed session to discuss contract negotiations.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion.
Second,
Thank you. Whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975 permits the public body to exclude the public from meeting under certain circumstances. And whereas the Board of Commissioners of the Township of Nutley, County of Essex, State of New Jersey, has determined that such circumstances exist. Now therefore be resolved that the Board of Commissioners shall enter into closed executive session to discuss contract negotiations. Be it further resolved that these discussions shall be disclosed only when such disclosures will not adversely affect pending or anticipated legal, personnel, or contractual matters or any matters exempt by law. This resolution shall take effect immediately. Commissioner Evans,
aye.
Commissioner Tucci,
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco,
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
Aye.
Time is 8:35.
All right, we're back on the record. It's 9:17 PM. And I said we would get to resolution or ordinance number 3610. We're going to rescind ordinance number 3610 and introduce ordinance number 3613. It's going to be the same language, except we'll be appropriating the slightly different language, which will be published on the town's website, and we'll be appropriating $270,000 rather than $1,030,000. Sure.
Do we have to vote on the rescind?
Yes,
Oh, we have, okay.
Yes.
So we'll vote on the rescind.
move it.
Second.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca.
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
Aye. And now we will introduce ordinance number 3613, similar language to ordinance number 3610, appropriating $270,000 instead of $1,030,000. And Commissioner Evans will also describe some language changes.
Just the ordinance will now read, ordinance providing for the 2026 payment of our obligation under the
Next.
carding system in and by the Township of Nutley in the County of Essex, New Jersey, appropriating $270,000 therefore. Mayor, do you want to read the thing or you want me?
Yeah, I'll read the language. And again, this is,
Gotta read the language on it, the introduction. of the
Introduction
ordinance.
language.
Intro.
Right.
Inside your folder.
yeah, this is ordinance number 3613, an ordinance providing for the acquisition of garbage and recycling carts in and by the Township of Nutley in the County of Essex, New Jersey, appropriating $1,070,000, or sorry, $270,000. And this is for our payment for existing garbage carts. This is not for any additional garbage carts. This is going to be introduced on today's date. And I move that this ordinance be,
Gotta read this.
yeah, I move that this ordinance be passed to a second reading and posted on the township's website, nutley.nj.org, together with the notice required by law and further consideration of said ordinance for final passage by the Board of Commissioners to be held on a second reading on
May 19th.
May 19th. Do we have enough time? Okay, May 19th, 2026. So moved.
I'm sorry, who's second? Thank you. Commissioner Evans.
I noting the revised wording of the 2026 payment of our obligation under the carding system.
Commissioner Tucci.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca.
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
Aye. And we will be going back into executive session and not be conducting any further business this evening. Our next meeting is same place, same time, May 19th, 2026. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Tucci.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca.
Aye.
Mayor Kelly.
Aye.
The time is 9:20.
Mayor, and Madam Clerk, we do have a need to go into closed session to discuss contract negotiations.
We're going to continue where we were, correct? Okay, so I don't need to read another resolution. Correct, okay.